Hi, I'm Ryan Schneider with Insomniac Games. I'm our Chief Brand Officer.
How does it have to feel to not worry about profit motive when developing a title for the Oculus?
Well, I think we're always focused on making a game that's commercially viable as well as critically acclaimed, so that's something that we're always paying attention to, no matter what kind of game we're making.
What inspired your art style in the game?
Well, we wanted to create a world of the surreal, but at the same time we wanted it to feel a little bit familiar too. So that's why the Unspoken takes place at the World's Fair in Chicago. We wanted to invoke that sense of wonder. If you looked at the world a different way, how would that inspire you and make you feel like you're discovering that you were this powerful archmage?
So how does the Oculus touch controllers help achieve hand presence?
Well, first and foremost, you can actually wiggle your fingers around. So when you look down at your hands and you start moving your hands, you can actually see that there's like this one-to-one presence there. Second, it really helps you feel like you are that powerful archmage and you're able to like conjure a spell with your fingertips.
So talk about, this isn't your traditional D&D fantasy magicians. This is very urban based. Talk about that style and that design.
Sure. Well, we like to say that the Unspoken is sort of like this urban magic fight club. We're not going for that old school Harry Potter style theme. We're trying to make this feel like magic in the modern world, and that's why it's set in like present day Chicago, for example.
Do you prefer working in consoles games or in VR games?
We love console games, we love VR games. I think we're especially excited about VR at the moment when we're working with Oculus on the Unspoken, because it feels like we're pushing forward a new medium and that we're all discovering this new sense of immersion. And as game developers, as storytellers, it allows us to connect with our fellow players in an entirely different way.
What was it like working with Oculus, and what do they provide you in terms of support and tech to help make this game a reality?
Working with Oculus has been fantastic. They've been just the best partners we could ask for. We've also been fortunate enough to work with partners like NVIDIA and Intel as well. Oculus has been terrific in terms of helping us provide the technology and the know-how that we could kind of collaborate together and build an experience like the Unspoken that you really haven't gotten to experience before. This feeling where you're really casting spells for the first time with your bare hands.
Now there's different classes in the game. At OC3 we saw the Kineticist was announced, as well as the Elementalist, and now we're seeing the Blackjack.
Yes. Yeah, the Blackjack is totally cool. It's more of a deceptive class compared to the others, more of a trickster mentality, a little bit more precise in the attacks. You're throwing out these blades that really find their mark easily, and your ability to conjure defenses where you can actually shield where you are on the map by having sort of doppelganger versions of yourself all over on the pedestals is pretty difficult and just messes with your head a little bit.
Now there are going to be more classes down the line. You're not just stopping at 3.
That's correct. We really are trying to go for a deep and strategic game here where each class matters, multiple different spell types. Every arena has its own strategic advantages, and that's how we think that this game is going to really be able to take off from a competitive standpoint.
So in the game also, you're not just throwing spells at each other, there's also objectives you can gain and have to interact with physically in your environment. Talk a little about that.
Yeah, there's a lot of layers of depth here because you can't just throw fireballs back and forth at each other because you're just going to kill each other really quickly. You really have to think about where are you on the map, where are the best opportunities to flank, and then we have these things called embers that you're trying to gather up so you can create more powerful spells and summons. So like for instance, I can like gather enough embers and I can summon a giant trash golem in one of the environments. In another environment, I can summon a reaper that comes and breaks through this statue in Pulaski Circle, and it really helps create these like big wow moments and giant payoffs for playing the game in a very strategic way.
What's it like being here at the Oracle Coliseum watching esports take place, where your game is very esports centric?
Well, right now we're just trying to focus on being in front of competitive, passionate players and get feedback on what makes the Unspoken special for them. If this game happens to take off and become a natural fit for the esports world, that would be great. But right now, we just want to focus on making a great game, and there are a lot of people here who are passionate about games that can help us do that.
Have you gotten any feedback from any pro gamers that have played your game so far here at the event?
Yeah, we've had a lot of pro gamers come through and influencers who have had the opportunity to play the game, and they've just had nothing but positive things to say in terms of that sense of immersion and strategy, depth, the power of the classes. It's exciting to be here and to go back to the development studio and share that with everybody and see how we can make an even better game.
And where would you like to see VR in 2 years?
In VR in 2 years, like you're going to see even more events like what we're seeing here at IEM Masters in Oakland, and even bigger tournaments with higher stakes, and hopefully you'll see games like the Unspoken being a big part of that. So the more that we can continue to make the Unspoken a great experience that stands out and is here for the long haul and supports the player community, that's our goal.
And when can people play the Unspoken, and what platforms will it be on?
So the Unspoken is exclusive for the Oculus Rift, and it'll be out on December 6th for the Touch.